Hey guys, what's going on? This is Kite Cutter TV with another presentation. We gotta talk about this. Okay guys, border apprehensions on the US-Mexico border for April 2019 was through the roof at almost 100,000. Now if anybody has been taking notice, this is the border crisis that President Trump has been talking about since he became president. Well, just a few days ago, the Pentagon approved $1.5 billion to build more than 80 miles of barriers on the border. So hopefully, this is a small step in the right direction of securing our nation. Okay, the first story I want to talk about today is a husband and wife that lost their life due to an illegal alien hitting them while driving a car. So he was in the country illegally, driving the car illegally, plus driving while intoxicated, then killing two people. This is heartbreaking.
It's affected my family so bad. It has changed our lives. Our children just...
Oh, it's heartbreaking. She's shaking with emotion. That was the reaction from the family of a husband and wife killed by a drunk driver in Salem. Today, they were in court as the driver, who was in this country illegally, pleaded guilty. Eduardo de la Lima Vargas will serve 12 and a half years in prison. Today in Marion County Court, he admitted to blowing through a red light last August and hitting Logan and Jessica Wilson, with his truck and horse trailer. The Wilsons were riding a motorcycle at the time. This wasn't the man's first DUI. He also had one back in 2001 and went through a diversion program. Family and friends say they're frustrated with the sentencing and the fact that Lima Vargas was in this country illegally.
So these two people right here, 33 and 35, their life was just beginning, too young to die.
After serving his sentence, the federal government will make a call on whether to deport him.
I don't understand how you could break so many laws while being responsible for the deaths of two people and only get 12 years, especially when this wasn't the first offense. I know people that got more jail time for drug dealing. And the nerve of them to say after he serves his sentence, the federal government will make a call whether he will be deported or not. This should be mandatory. Moving on, the next story is a few days old, but I want to touch on it as I've been gone for a couple of months. This is no isolated incident, aberration, or anomaly. The repercussion of illegal immigration is not a positive thing for U.S. citizens. If these border jumpers even get caught and deported, they just come back to eventually wreak havoc on the U.S. population. Here's a story of another guy that self-deported only to come back and take innocent lives. ICE has him in custody, but it's too late as the damage has been done. Hopefully he gets more than 12 years, but that's no guarantee living in a sanctuary city.
We've just learned the alleged drunk driver who plowed into a Sutter County mobile home, killing 3 people, is in the country illegally. This is according to ICE. The agency says Ismael Juazo Jardinez was previously apprehended by Border Patrol agents in Arizona. He was granted voluntary return to Mexico in 2011.
Now, the deadly crash happened Saturday night near Knight's Landing. Police say Juazo Jardinez was drunk and speeding when he missed a curve and crashed into a trailer. He was arrested but then released after posting bail.
That's right, guys. You heard that right. He was arrested, then released after posting bail. Light bulb moment. He is an illegal alien. Most of these people don't even show up to a court asylum, much less show up for a criminal trial for the deaths of 3 people. I don't get it. Then you have these people all over the country that want to give illegal aliens licenses to drive. Why would you give someone that either overstayed their visa, but more probably entered the country illegally to begin with, a driver's license? Just for more fraud cases and more illegal activity? Check this out.
Well, the debate about driver's licenses for undocumented immigrants continues, and Erie County legislators are taking a stand on this. News 4's Angelica Morrison was at County Hall today talking to legislators.
The Erie County Legislature's Minority Caucus is putting its support behind a new resolution opposing driver's licenses for undocumented immigrants. The issue is currently being addressed at the state level with a bill that would allow undocumented immigrants to get a license by just passing a road test or presenting an alternative form of identification.
Giving driver's licenses to illegal immigrants, to me, is not the proper way to go.
Now, the idea was pitched back in 2007 by former Governor Elliot Spitzer, but back then it didn't pass. Erie County legislator John Mills, who's the co-sponsor of the resolution, says it's time for the county to take a stand.
The reason we went ahead and sponsored this resolution is to send a message to the legislature and the governor in Albany that this issue is unacceptable, especially the people in Western New York.
The concern, some say, is if undocumented immigrants get licenses, then it could open the door up to problems at the voting booth, possible fraud, or even crime.
We're looking at fraud, which is something that we're concerned about. It could have an impact on crime, because if you think about it, if you're looking for a new identity, a sex offender, or someone who is looking for a new identity, we're talking about criminal activity for organized crime.
At last check, the bill is being considered in the Transportation Committee, and we did reach out to the Erie County Legislature's Democratic Caucus, but received no comment on the issue.
Now, if we have somebody with half a brain on these voting committees, this will get shut down immediately. To reward illegal aliens, giving them a driver's license by using an alternative form of identification is ridiculous. As if credit card fraud, identification theft, and other scams aren't at an all-time high right now. Well, this next story is about a man that employed almost 200 illegal aliens, didn't pay them well, no medical, kept most of the money for himself, had hundreds of cars, multiple mansions, had millions of dollars while his employees suffered. Problem is, this guy is an illegal alien himself. Check this out.
All right, ladies, thanks a lot. Classic cars, trucks, and guns, all seized from the owner of a construction company in North Georgia. Now, he's accused of making millions of bucks by employing undocumented workers and paying them below market wages. Here's the kicker, the big kicker here. Juan Antonio Perez is an undocumented immigrant himself. The indictment paints a picture of a really lavish lifestyle. Elwin Lopez shows us the rich life he was living.
The indictment says Perez had 3 homes in North Georgia. The first one, the main compound, 7,500 square feet, where he lives with his wife and his kids in Bartow County. The second one, a quote-unquote toy house. Take that as you will. And the third house is where he was allegedly renting out to his undocumented workers. Now, let's talk about his arsenal.
The indictment charges 14 different weapons. If it's just merely for self-protection, I'm not quite sure you need 14 weapons.
Some may disagree, but either way, it is quite the collection. 5 shotguns, a rifle, 8 pistols, and if you want something that seems like it's straight out of a movie, he's got that too. And that's not all. He also had a massive collection of cars. From a mid-50s Bel Air, now that's a cool car, to oversized trucks and enough sports cars for a racetrack. They seized more than 50 cars and trucks. And to give you some perspective, that's enough to practically fill up this parking lot.
Okay, and now those classic cars are with the feds. Now, Perez is going to be arraigned next Monday as far as how Perez, as an undocumented immigrant, was able to get away with this for so long. Well, the feds say he got some serious help from people who are here legally.
Investigators say a business owner used undocumented immigrants to fuel his lavish lifestyle for 5 years. I'm Josh Rowe.
And I'm Kim Chapman. Today we learned a grand jury has indicted the owner of a Rossville and Hickson construction business.
Attorneys made the announcement in front of rows of expensive cars and a table of guns, all of them seized from his properties.
We have team coverage for you tonight. Kayla Strayer will look at how the Perez case could impact the construction business.
We begin tonight with Sydney Edwards with what else investigators revealed today. Sydney.
Now, Now, federal agents say Juan Perez employed nearly 200 illegal immigrants, and instead of paying them fairly, he's accused of pocketing enough money to buy the cars that you see behind me. One being a white Denali truck valued at over $700,000, and another, a rare Ford GT. But agents say Perez couldn't even register these cars himself because he too is in this country illegally.
All I know is that he is a disgrace to our neighborhood. And like I said, I'm ashamed.
Michael Roberts has lived down the street from Juan Perez's Rydell compound for 9 years. After hearing that federal agents swarmed this and other properties belonging to Perez last week, Roberts says he hopes his neighbor gets a new address: prison.
You don't treat people like work machines and then expect them to make you more money so you can live your luxury house, live in your luxury nice houses and drive your fancy cars.
As of April of this year, agents say the Georgia Department of Labor had no record of income from Juan Perez. However, court documents say he had nearly 200 employees for his construction business.
Mr. Perez and his subcontractors not only employed illegal aliens at substantially below market rates, they also did not provide any benefits or insurance, paid no payroll taxes or Social Security taxes at all.
Expensive cars and firearms lined the Bartow County Sheriff's Office parking lot, seized from Perez's properties in raids from last week.
We can't let folks who profit through illegal means keep the fruits of that illegal activity.
But this might just be the beginning. Special Agent Nick Anand says the people that helped Perez by registering these cars in their names and buying property could also face charges.
I think there's more money out there. I think there's more properties out there, and I definitely think there's other individuals who are looking over their shoulder.
Now, special agents say if Perez is found guilty, he's currently sitting in Floyd County Jail, but if he is found guilty, the cars behind me will eventually be put up for auction. Reporting live in Bartow County, Sydney Edwards, News Channel 9.
So when you hear the left-wing narrative that people are being racist towards illegal immigrants, pay it no mind. Because as we can see, these illegals will take advantage of their own. If this guy was so smart as to amass so many expensive mansions and cars, maybe he should have used some of his millions to actually becoming a citizen, or at the least a legal resident. Alright guys, I'm gonna be more active, so look out for more new videos from me coming at a more regular basis. Well, that's it for now, but I'll catch y'all soon. Thanks for watching. Peace.